What's up, America? My name is Arthur Rawe. So happy to be bringing in another Friday to, have a little fun entertainment. Let's end the work week right, and let's bring in the weekend correct. Almost a tongue twister there. But one thing, a little gripe that I have is everyone's always like, thank God it's Friday. I was listening to this motivational thing and it's like, why do people say thank God it's Friday? You should say thank God it's today, because honestly, I'm trying to keep the weekend as busy and productive as I keep my Monday through Friday. So that's what's up there. I want to bring in this episode with that type of energy. And I'm excited to be sharing this episode with my great friend, Mr. Kevin Loving Them Checkered Flags Batstone.
Happy Friday, America. So good to be back here with you. Of course, it is end of month, last episode of January. Can't believe it, Art. It seems like we just turned the calendar over to January. We're on to February. Racing's back this weekend. A full episode coming up, starting with some history.
Hey, you got to go back in today in history, January 31st. Whenever I see an angel number, it kind of speaks to me. So we're starting out with 1616, and this was the first time that sailors were able to round the Cape Hoorn, and it was done by a Dutch expedition, Jacques Le Maire and Willem Schouten, I believe. They named Cape Hoorn after Schouten's hometown. And that's just epic. If you don't know where the Cape Hoorn is, that is on the southern tip of Southern America, and it's like this little gap between Antarctica and Southern America, South America. So pretty cool one. Moving into the 1800s, we have 1871. Millions of birds fly over western San Francisco, darkening the sky. So I tried to do some research on this one to why? It had to have been something seismic or but I couldn't find any answers. I didn't look too long, but it reminded me of that scene from the movie 300 where he's like, our arrows will blot out the sky.
Well, how about the movie The Birds? You ever see that? Mm-hmm. That was a creepy movie.
That is a creepy movie.
I wonder if maybe some of the inspiration came from this piece of history.
That's very likely. That is very likely. So moving to World War I news, 1917, Germany notifies the United States that U-boats will attack a merchant ship. At least they gave us a heads up.
Coming in hot.
You're coming in with at least you're being well-intended. Even though it's bad intentions, you're doing it well-intendedly. Kind of
an oxymoron, but I guess it cancels one or the other out. Man, 6 half dozen or the other.
Who knows? But all I know is I wish I could get a piece of this pie. So 1995, U.S. President Bill Clinton authorizes a $20 billion loan to Mexico to stabilize its economy. I didn't do any research on how that worked out, if they ever paid it back, but I'm just saying, give me 1% of that, please, because then I'm going to stabilize my family and friends' economy for the rest of our lives.
Not going to happen. No handouts in this lifetime, buddy.
Yeah, unless if you're giving yourself hands, I guess. I just had one more that I know would be a big one for you, Kev, that you would be super excited for.
Oh, yeah?
So 1997, I know this one means a lot to you, Kev. Final Fantasy VII is released on the Sony Entertainment System, the PlayStation, baby.
Well, I love the PlayStation, of course. I think it's the greatest gaming console of all time. Not sure why you thought I'd be super excited about this one.
Final Fantasy VII, it's like one of your favorite games above all the GT games. I know you love it.
I don't recall ever saying that.
And that is today in history.
Very well. Interpret it how you will, my friend.
No, it was a joke. It was satire.
I figured when I saw that in there.
I know you never even played that game.
That's not true. I've played it.
You played Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah, it was many moons ago. But of course, I've played it. I just, it's not something I'm going to get real excited about.
Well, that's why it was satire.
Hey, great job with that, buddy.
Thanks. What else we got? What are we moving into next? Cyber farting?
My lead article has to do with cyber farting. And this is a bizarre story just all around here. So we have a 25-year-old woman by the name of Rhiannon Evans who ended up getting into some legal trouble here, Art. This took place over in northern Wales, our friends across the pond. Basically, here's the deal. Kind of a jealous situation is what I'm assuming.
Okay.
She started bombarding her boyfriend's ex with her farting videos. Now, this took place between December 22nd and New Year's Day. So this was a good 8 to 10 day span of multiple videos being shot and sent to her current boyfriend's ex-girlfriend, right? So jealous new girlfriend,
Okay.
ex-girlfriend. She gets a hold of her and starts sending her videos of just her farting.
But
Now,
it's the ex. Like, that's kind of odd.
It's just terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just all around no good. While there might be some humor on the surface of this, it really does underscore the importance of responsible digital communication.
Okay.
That's kind of the lesson learned here. Now, these videos that were exchanged back and forth were quite serious and, in fact, reminded me of someone. The videos of her were her looking very intimately into the camera and farting and passing wind. So,
Okay.
like this incredible stare into the camera and farting occurring, and then just sending that with no context. She didn't say anything. She's just farting and then sending it to the ex-girlfriend multiple times a day. So obviously, naturally, the ex is like, this is bullshit. She gets contacts the authorities. They get involved. She was ordered to pay $100 in compensation, 199 pounds in court, and they put her on basically a mental health evaluation, sentenced her to 15 rehabilitation sessions, and placed under a 60 days alcohol abstinence monitoring program.
Wow.
From her flatulence chaos.
Huh. So I wonder if alcohol was adding to the flatulence, because like sometimes when I drink beer, like I get a little gassy. Maybe that's why that was part of the punishment. But definitely, she deserves to get on this mental watch, because who in their right mind?
Well, in her mind, she probably thought, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just trolling the ex.
Well, yeah, but who in their right mind goes and trolls the ex?
Bro,
that's the past.
A lot of women are fucking crazy.
I mean, that's just going too far.
It's going way too far. It's beyond. It's beyond.
Going way too far.
Way too fart. Way too much fart. Okay, look.
That's ridiculous.
We all have to let her rip, tater chip. We all got to toot toot salute, right? And there's a time and place for it. You don't record it. You don't send it to people in this manner. It's completely uncalled for. They taught her a lesson, and now this kind of sets the standard of digital communication can and can't do's.
Huh. Interesting. I'm going to go ahead and give that gal a thumbs down on their performance. Just overall, thumbs down on your performance for being that kind of human and making someone feel so uncomfortable. So we're going to shift it now to the hero of the week. This is one that I found, look, out of disaster, heroes arise. And so this one had something to do with the Orange County fires. So the hero of the week that I got is Brian Finessi. That's actually a cool last name. He got the Finessi, baby. Brian Finessi. And he's been a firefighter for almost 50 years, career firefighter. Wow. His brother, he realized that his brother's home was in a neighborhood that was at risk and was currently burning. So he's trying to call his brother. He finds this news. He's like, oh, shit, that's my brother's neighborhood. He can't get a hold of his brother, and he's very concerned. So he ends up driving to this neighborhood. And when he enters this neighborhood, the houses, no joke, are burnt down to the foundation. He's like, this is not good. This is a bad scenario. While he's pulling into that neighborhood and seeing the destruction, his brother ends up giving him a call. And it's like, hey, we made it out safe. Got the family out safe. Everyone's safe and sound. So Brian was very relieved at that point in time, obviously. But then he's already almost there, so he's just like, let me just swing by, check out my brother's property really quick. He's going to go check it out. So he goes by there. I think in the article it said like a gas line was like looking like it was starting to catch fire, or something was starting to catch fire on the rear end of the house. None of the other, his house was not engulfed in flames. His brother's house was not, but there was like a fire starting in the back. And so he runs to the nearest hose to try to find like a way to put it out. The hose isn't working. All right.
Shocking.
So, yep, it's not working. So he's thinking on his feet, and he runs inside, and he finds whatever he can. He finds milk, like some cartons of milk.
And some beer.
And
Smart.
And he puts it out with this milk and beer. And the fact that he prevented the fire on his brother's house actually saved one of the neighbors' homes, too.
Wow.
So this guy, Brian, saved 2 houses with milk and beer. And why I think that's pretty cool, because I always try to find like a hidden meaning behind some of this stuff. So I like this because it goes to show you that if you're in like a dire circumstance and your typical tools that you would utilize, like your mental tools or whatever type of tool you want to put on this, sometimes you could find unconventional solutions and then have like some great impact from saving yourself from the flames. So I just want to kind of throw that in there like that. We got a hero of the week, but also using unconventional methods to deliver results that were positive. And we can also use unconventional methods in our life to deliver a positive life.
Brian Finessi coming in clutch here. I mean, like you said, thought on his feet quick. This is a good problem solver, right? Like naturally, as a firefighter, you think we got to go to the hose, we got to find water, we got to extinguish this immediately with the tools and resources we have available and with conventional, ways. And then when that didn't work, he immediately was like, what other liquid can I find, right? Because that was obviously what he was going for. No gasoline, let's not use that. Go in the house, grab some milk, found some, maybe some bottled water in the fridge, whatever liquids are available. And this is like a good thing to think about too.
Maybe go in your toilet, like get the water out of the toilet.
I mean, there's not much in there, but yeah, I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures. The fact that it worked, that there was enough liquid between the milk and the beer to put this out is terrific. And I mean, like you said, if he hadn't gone up to check on his bro's property, like let me go do him a solid, make sure everything's good, might have lost the whole home.
Yeah, and the neighbor would have too. So like that, hey, when you sit on an idea and you're not taking action, nothing great is going to come from that. So you got to take action. You got to move quick and have some confidence behind your movement. So that's the hero of the week.
Love it.
And what we got next, Kevin, we're jumping into, of course, the random records, baby. Let's go.
Random records of the week. No David Rush this week. It's okay. We like to switch it up. You can't just always be David Rush. This is actually a pretty wild one. All right, this is 2 Daredevils. Now, hot air balloons are pretty cool.
Have you been in one?
I've been in one on the ground. I've never been up in the sky.
Yeah, me neither.
I'd like to, though. So there was a record set previously in 2021, 6,236 feet. This is where these 2 hot air balloons were up in the air, and they would walk across a slack line, basically doing like a balance beam, if you will. Pretty good size slack line, walkable. So they said, let's break that. Let's take it up in altitude. Let's go to 8,202 feet, so roughly almost 2,000 feet higher in elevation. I mean, both are crazy. You fall from that altitude, you're done.
I mean, at least you have longer to fall. I mean, do they not have parachutes?
No parachutes. They're full send. Now, again, the slack line, if you scroll down and click the link below, you can see the picture of it. It's hard to judge how far apart they are. I would say probably maybe 50 feet.
And they're not tied off on this thing either, huh?
No, they're going up there.
These guys are crazy.
Oh, they're nuts. They're absolutely nuts. So they said it was extremely difficult. The pressure was on, obviously. Being at a high altitude, you don't know what the winds are going to do. Everything has to be timed perfectly. And once you start that rhythm going across that slack line, you got to keep that rhythm up.
Yeah, because you have 2 people walking on it. So how did they pass each other? Like, I mean, it just seems like such a high risk stunt.
It's very high risk. Like extremely high adrenaline.
Like, how do these guys find any excitement after doing something like this?
This is like some Travis Pastrana shit. Remember when Pastrana jumped out of an airplane with no parachute and then caught up with someone who did?
Yeah.
Like, to take that leap, I'm just going to jump out, no parachute, hope it works. Same kind of thing.
That's crazy.
I would even argue that this is probably, I don't know about safer, but you kind of know where you're going. Would you catch me doing it? No. I wouldn't even do it at 100 feet.
No.
I wouldn't do it at 100.
No, me neither. Me neither.
So, in any case, they have set the bar high enough, quite figuratively and literally.
Yes.
They now hold the Guinness Book World Record for the highest hot air balloon airwalk.
Wow. Congratulations to you 2 Daredevils doing that. And that's Kevin's Random Records.
Random Records, baby.
We're going to jump into the Would You Rather next. Of course, we're going to cover last week's Would You Rather. Thank you, everybody, for voting on Twitter, a.k.a. X, and also in the comments and YouTube. Your participation is appreciated. So last week, would you rather have to clean a sorority house or a fraternity house? And we're talking deep clean. How did America go?
Well, we know I took the fraternity house. I think you took the
sorority house. And I think I changed my mind after the show, but it doesn't count.
No, it doesn't count.
I'm sorority.
You got to stick with it. And we chatted about this, too, over the weekend.
Yeah.
So America went unanimously with you.
Really?
Yeah. America's going 100% sorority house.
Wow.
I understand that argument because we kind of broke down the nuts and bolts of this a little bit. We started talking about how hair gets involved and a lot of other things. I'm going to stick with the reason why. Obviously, I can't change it. I'm sticking with fraternity. Apparently, I'm the only one that's taken that on our Twitter X poll over there on the Would You Rather.
Well, thank you so much for hitting us with a recap. So this week's Would You Rather is a fun one. I had fun with this one. So, would you rather have to have an audience every time that you use the bathroom, whatever you do in a bathroom, okay? So there's always an audience watching you when you're using a restroom, a washroom, a bathroom, for whatever. Or would you rather have to eat every meal alone for the rest of your life?
I feel like most people instinctually are going to take the lesser of 2 evils in the sense of eating alone, because you don't have anyone watching you at this point. People are very vulnerable in the bathroom. You're shitting, you're pissing, you're naked, you're shaving, you're in the shower. God knows what else you're doing in there, right? And that's a lot of privacy you're giving up for life.
It is.
Now, on the other hand,
That's
eating a meal with people is part of the social experience. I personally wouldn't have a problem with the audience. I don't necessarily want one, but I don't, whatever. I'm going to do my business regardless.
And I could do other private things in my bedroom.
You could do other private things in your bedroom.
Like I don't have to do all my private things in the bathroom.
I think I'm going to take the meal alone for life.
So you're going to eat alone?
I'm going to eat alone, keep my bathroom privacy.
Really?
Yeah. And I actually just changed my mind on that because now that I got to thinking about it. Because, again, I don't mind if people want to watch me shit or whatever. Not really that exciting.
Okay.
They're not really going to get a show out of it.
Yeah.
But I think, there's other times where you just want to be alone. You just want to take a hot bath or a hot shower, and you don't want people looking at you.
Yeah.
So I'll eat my meal alone.
You're going to eat your meals alone.
And then I'll catch up with folks when I'm done eating.
Okay. I don't know why. I thought I had this down, but now I'm torn on this would you rather.
It's tough. Either way, you're taking it's a sacrifice. You're either giving up your privacy, bathroom privacy, which is very important to a lot of people, or, you're going to be a loner and eat alone. I don't mind eating alone. It doesn't really bother me.
Yeah, I don't mind eating alone either.
But
it's really fun to share a meal.
It is. It is. It can be intimate. It can be fun.
And like with families, like Thanksgiving and like all that stuff.
Right.
So
yeah, that's a good point.
I suppose like you could still do Thanksgiving and just you have to go eat in a closet or something. You're like, okay, thanks everybody. You like go to the bathroom.
I gotta go eat alone now.
Wait. What if you do that? You're eating alone, but you go to the bathroom. People watch me every time I go to the bathroom, but then I go to eat, and I go to eat in the bathroom alone. Like, isn't that like a moment?
I don't think it blew my mind quite as much as it did yours.
Okay. I thought that was kind of like, it was like crazy. We were about to create nuclear fission or something with this. So I'm going to continue to share my meals, and I'm just going to, use the bathroom with people watching me, I guess.
People in there?
Yeah.
You have like that creepy guy behind the fern?
Yeah. I'll just kind of put my head down and take care of my business. I don't know. That's actually a pretty tough one. What do you think, America? Which way are you going?
I think America's going to go with me on this one. I think they're going to eat their meals alone. They're going to keep their bathroom privacy.
Yeah.
Let us know. Twitter, X, @HappyFryUSA, or drop a comment down below. Where are you going, America?
Yeah, where are you going? Where are you going on that one? Kev, you got a guy that's changing his biological colors in his veins from something he's eating.
Yeah, speaking of eating alone, this guy probably did a lot of it. So, highly recommend you scroll down and click the link to this one so you can see the picture of what I'm about to describe. You saw it before we jumped on the air. So, this guy decided to try to get healthier. So, he decided to get rid of all carbohydrates, bread, sugar, stuff like that, and went with a complete carnivore diet, which obviously consists of fat. So, butter, cheese, and hamburgers. He ate 6 to 9 pounds of butter, cheese, and hamburgers every day for 8 months. First of all, let me start there. That's a lot of fucking food. 6 to 9 pounds per day, and you're trying to better yourself after getting rid of carbs.
You could probably just eat a pound of food a day and be fine.
If you did just a pound of the butter, cheese, and hamburgers, you probably wouldn't have what this lad ended up with. So once again, just a quick recap here. This took place down in Tampa, Florida. 6 to 9 pounds of butter, cheese, and hamburgers every day, 8 months later. Things started happening to his body art. His cholesterol levels off the charts. Can't even measure them. Okay, it broke the scale.
Okay.
As high as a cholesterol meter will go.
So can't you just die?
Yeah, he's high risk. He'd die any minute of a heart attack.
Yeah.
This is such a high risk to your your arteries, your cardiac health, all that stuff, cardiovascular system. So he ended up with yellowish lumps and cholesterol eyes. That was the first signs. So everything got like kind of yellow, like your liver would if it's failing. And then, as you saw in the picture, the veins in his hands were completely yellow. You could see the grease, basically, of the butter and the cheese and the fat coursing through the veins in his hands. They were completely yellow veins.
That's gross.
And so there's a term for it that I'm probably not going to be able to pronounce, that they consider this medical condition, Zanlisthalma, yellow raised deposits of cholesterol that appear under the skin because the body cannot process it, so it is stored within the bloodstream, ultimately creating the highest risk of heart attack and stroke. How do you reverse this? Well, I'd imagine you would have to go completely off of this.
Yeah.
Tampa General Hospital is he's basically become scientific research. They're turning this guy into...
But they've never seen this much cholesterol in a living human.
Less than 1% of people will develop this high level of cholesterol in their lifetime. A lot of people have high cholesterol. This is beyond that.
Wow.
So yellow veins, not good. JAMA cardiology is like the study of it, is what they're calling it. And so high concern about cholesterol, Art. Look, lesson learned, probably should be eating 6 to 9 pounds of butter, cheese, and meat every single day.
Yeah, and we'll have another article talking about somebody who also should cut down on things of that nature as well. But yeah, that's crazy. All I can say is that I hope he's able to flush his system a little bit and get a healthier diet going. Definitely got to decrease the total amount of intake, because if I just think about 6 to 7 pounds of food, like I feel like that's like at least 3 to 4 days worth of food for me, right? Like I feel like that's just so much food.
Well, I mean, if this guy's literally eating 6 to 9 pounds of food times 7 days a week, that's 49 to 50 pounds of food a week. I mean, how do you process that much food, especially when it's that high in fat?
Apparently you don't.
Apparently your fucking veins turn yellow.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
This is the new Spider-Man villain is called the Cheese Monster. and instead of like shooting sand and stuff, he like shoots cheese whiz.
Or like a little bit of fucking butter.
It's like so Spider-Man's slipping.
There's some grease.
Yeah, he's like
throw some grease down, people be slipping on the ground.
Instead of a villain, he becomes a master chef. You can't duplicate his greasy flavor.
Getting out of hand, Art. Let's keep it moving. We got fucking monkeys.
Yeah, Planet of the Apes almost happened in reality back in November. We had all these monkeys escape from a lab out in North Carolina, and apparently somebody had left the door open. I believe that they were a big fan of Planet of the Apes and were trying to recreate some things in reality.
I remember us covering this article.
Yeah, so this is like a recap. There was 43 total primates that escaped. They're like small monkeys, cat size. Well, what is that? Like this is like 5 months later? No, I guess it's only 3 months later.
About 3.5, yeah.
Yeah, it feels like 5 months, but hey, they finally got all the monkeys back. So
how'd they do it, Art?
The last 4 monkeys were finally brought back into captivity. The crazy snow and also cold weather did contribute, but also a delicious snack that is hard to resist. A good old classic peanut butter and jelly sandwich is what they used to lure these monkeys back.
Who doesn't love a good PB&J? I was saying this before we jumped on.
You were.
I got into the Uncrustables now. Those things are fantastic. They're so good. It's simple.
I haven't had a PB&J. I haven't had one of those in a while. And like,
you going grape jelly or strawberry?
I think I'm gonna go strawberry, but also this is what some people call me sacrilegious. I'm going crunchy peanut butter, baby.
What kind of bread?
We got to do like a potato or just a white bread.
Okay, because it comes down to the bread.
Yeah, but what do you think about the crunchy? You didn't even react to that. The crunchy
I like
peanut
crunchy.
butter?
Yeah, I like crunchy.
Yeah, you rock that?
I don't want that every time, but I like it as a nice change.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I like both.
I was expecting a greater reaction there.
No, I'm all right with crunchy.
You've underreacted to me a couple times this episode, even when I was going satire at the beginning.
Well, I'm calm, cool, and collected, my friend.
He is.
It's very relaxed week.
Kevin the Arcane.
Yes, something like that. Like I just say, I came off a good vacation, so I'm well rested.
Yes, very, very well rested, as I guarantee.
Yes, sir. And so, okay, the monkeys. Look, I'm glad that they made it back safely.
Yeah.
And that we got this under control. PB&J's what did it.
So
if we can take anything away from that, it's the power of the PB&J.
Yeah, and the power of PB&J, some rappers cannot resist.
All right. So do I officially want to call her the dumbass of the week? Maybe. I'll let you decide, America.
Okay.
I just think this is a crazy story, so it made the final article of this Happy Friday. Some of you might have already heard about this. So a plus-size female rapper from Michigan in the Detroit area. I believe she goes by Dank DeMoss. I was listening to some of her music before we jumped on. Not my style. She was trying to summons a Lyft to go wherever she needed to go. People Uber and Lyft all the time. Mm-hmm. And let me just say, again, I started this article by saying she's a plus-size female. Once again, I would encourage you to scroll down, click this link so you can take a look for yourself and just make your own judgments on how large this person is. I would describe it as if she was on a Southwest flight, she would need to purchase 2 seats.
Okay,
that's how I'm going to describe her. So driver pulls up. I would say he's in a very small to mid-sized car.
It was a Honda Accord, like a 09.
Right.
I believe.
So just to put that in perspective, we're not dealing with a Jeep Cherokee here.
Sedan, not a coupe.
It's a sedan, four-door, pretty low to the ground, not a lot of clearance. Guy pulls up. She's filming this already, of course, and he said he denied her a lift. He said, I'm sorry, you're not going to fit in the car. You're too large.
Yeah.
And it's a risk to my vehicle because I don't have the best tires on it, whatever. He said some things that I think ultimately are going to be used against him in this lawsuit.
Yeah, he should have just been like, I'm denying the ride, and he shouldn't have given any reasons to, because to my understanding, a driver can deny a passenger, and that's okay. But I feel like he probably was saying too much.
Well, He probably was, but this is where it gets dicey because we live in a very sensitive time, and there's fat phobia and a lot of that kind of stuff. The driver completely refunded the charge, didn't charge her a cancellation fee or anything. So in terms of that, we've all had drivers cancel on us before, not because of that reason probably, but I've missed out on rides, and you go, whatever, I'll order another one. I'm not going to make that big of a deal about it. But she said, the encounter hurt her feelings, and so she decided to lawyer up. And go after this Lyft driver. And, Lyft commented very briefly and said that, look, our drivers work as independent contractors. They're 1099 employees. We can't really comment on what our policy is because it's discretionary. If someone throws up at the back of your car, if someone shows up intoxicated, there is a lot of variables with these ride shares. So in the world of business, we have seen people be denied for race, religion, political reasons. People have been denied business for those reasons, which basically tie into the same thing of discrimination. And so I'll be curious to see the outcome of this lawsuit. The lawyers obviously seem pretty passionate that they're going to win. It's obviously getting a lot of attention. We're talking about it here. I think it's ridiculous, personally.
Just to sit here and turn this into a discrimination thing, I think she's discriminating against moderation of food. If you're I'm sorry, but I've been a big husky boy. I went on a 2-year-long weight loss journey. So I was fat and I was not respecting my body, and I had zero self-control and all this stuff. So it's just the amount of respect that I have for someone that's blowing up the spot for this type of stuff and being oh, you don't understand me because I'm fat and I'm a fat type of person. Well, I've been a fat person too. And I had to actually focus, take some accountability and responsibility in order to make a change in my life. And when I see people just blaming others and they're in that type of shape, the value of someone's opinion like that is much lower than someone who's out there grinding, hustling, getting it. But as far as this goes to the article, I can't really take a side here. It is kind of ridiculous.
There's a gray area here, but going back to the point I made earlier, there was a woman that was in a similar situation that sued, I don't know if it was Southwest or United, one of the airlines, because they're ma'am, you're too big, you're taking up 2 seats when you should pay for 2 seats. She sued him. That's your real estate. You're paying for that piece of real estate. If you spill over into the others, you're going to have to pay for that real estate. That's just the way it is. And it was the same kind of thing. I was discriminated against. They made me, my feelings were hurt. It's not our, societal's issue to accommodate your mess. I'll put it as nicely as I can.
Or your lack of control.
I'm not fat shaming here. I'm just saying you're a large person. That's there's people that are 7'10", basketball players that wouldn't have fit in that Honda Accord either without their head hitting the thing. Is that discriminatory? So there's so many gray areas here to it. I think we're very Sue happy now. People need to take personal responsibility here and move on. Let's not make a huge deal about this. But I'm going to go ahead and give Dank DeMoss the dumbass of the week.
Hey, welcome into the wheelhouse. And of course, hell of a show. Great stuff here, man. Yeah. Always fun. We got stuff to do this weekend. Why don't you get us started, Kev?
Well, if you're in Denver, Colorado, we're going to have incredible weather this weekend. Last week was a little chilly. Obviously, the week before was in the negatives. So, big warm-up coming, Art. 70 degrees by Monday.
What?
70 degrees by Monday in the Denver area. Obviously, Texas and Arizona and some of these other southern states starting to get a little bit of warmth back. So, warm weather's coming, guys. Groundhog Day's coming. We're going to see if he's going to see his shadow next week. So
people still care about that. It's like these traditions. They're fun. They're just fun.
We'll probably cover it.
It's fun.
It's stupid.
We is the Great American Beer Fest coming up soon?
I don't think that's till October.
Oh, that's a bummer. That's a bummer. One thing that I want to do this weekend is I want to go ahead and I'm going to host a Smash Bros tournament, but it's by invite only and it's only a select few people, but I'm hosting it, baby.
Oh, that's going to be fun, Art. You could probably wash your car this weekend if you haven't already.
I need to do that.
Get some of that mag chloride off the roads that we have here in Colorado because it's going to be warm. Every time I do this, though, we get shitty weather 3 days later. I'm not going to jinx it. You could do reading. Maybe get caught up on a book.
What are you going to read? Are you going to read some Power versus Force?
It's sitting.
Have you gotten into that at all?
I'm like a couple chapters in, bro. I've been taking my time with it.
Okay, yeah.
I've had a lot going on.
Yes.
So you could do reading.
Very busy, man.
It's a good opportunity to polish that thing up. I know, Clint, you're going to appreciate this one, and a lot of people. You could go ahead and ride that bicycle for the first time this year. Get some miles on it. Get your legs moving. And ride your bicycle.
Okay.
That could be fun. And, of course, NASCAR is back. Preseason.
Oh, boy.
First race of the year. Winston-Salem, North Carolina for the first time. We're going to have the NASCAR Cup Series out there for the Cookout Clash. Can't wait. And then Monday, February 3rd, Mash the Gas kicks off. NASCAR Sky, Jeff Davis, myself. We have a big year. coming up on Mash the Gas.
Yes, definitely get in there and show some support and love for MTG. They're about to change the NASCAR podcast coverage world. They're doing it, baby.
We are the voice of NASCAR. And, of course, right here on the Discussion Combustion Production channel, you can find all our sister shows, Raw Talk, Discussion Combustion Podcast. You're watching Happy Friday America, and now Mash the Gas will be available to listen audio file right here on this YouTube channel.
That's
exciting. Awesome. So thanks for supporting us. And, of course, on all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, at Happy Friday USA, Twitter X, where you can take our polls, check out the promo clips, and interact at Happy Fry USA. If you have a segment idea, if you want to send us a Would You Rather, I know Art would really appreciate that. Send us some Would You Rather ideas, guys. Maybe it'll make the show. That could be something fun. What's that sound? It's a frickin' Enjoy your weekend.